All right, Red Square, red jacket. We ask for your help tonight to rock Red Square. Dobry wieczór, Moskowici.
It's getting better all the time. I used to get mad in my school. No, I can't complain. Teacher taught me one cool. No, I can't complain. Holding me down, turning me round, filling me up with your rules. I admit it's getting better, a little better all the time. You can't get no worse. To admit it's getting better. It's getting better since you've been mine. Getting so much better all the time. Getting so much better all the time. Getting so much better all the time.
We had this very big curtain around us. We were absolutely sure that we were stuck behind this curtain forever.
In Moscow, the Soviet Union celebrates.
Indeed, the Soviet government hasn't realized in the beginning how dangerous the Beatles were.
Something was happening that they wanted to control, and they didn't know how to do it. First cops, then KGB started to take notice and say, oh, something we don't like is happening, so we better do something about it.
I haven't heard of anyone who would be put in jail for listening to the Beatles records. But there's been a lot of other things in which the life of a young man could be seriously spoiled.
In the words of Russia's President Vladimir Putin, back then, McCartney's music was seen as alien propaganda.
East meets West today when the pop star Paul McCartney takes part in a revolutionary radio broadcast. The former Beatle will be taking telephone calls live from the Soviet Union.
I don't know if music and politics have got much in common.
I think it is, in fact, one of the untold stories of the collapse of the Soviet regime. And Paul McCartney and the Beatles were at the forefront of that.
The Beatles was a phenomenon, and it was a phenomenon of freedom.
We're coming with Paul McCartney, just confirmed. You're all ready for us? We are ready to rock Russia.
It was a historic moment for Paul McCartney.
A remarkable appearance tonight by one of the most famous rock stars in the world.
Tens of thousands of Russians cheering on former Beatle Paul McCartney.
40 years after conquering America.
It was so long in coming. Both the USSR.
Thousands were there to greet him.
I listened to the Beatles at BBC Radio, that super group.
God bless you. We love you.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The idea of us being actually banned and being a bad influence on the youth, we knew to be untrue.
That, of course, was very widely spread unofficially in the Soviet Union. The authorities didn't prevent young people from hearing the music, but it was never officially sponsored or liked even by the authorities. But that was a long time ago.
Well, the rain exploded with a mighty crash as we fell into the sun. And the first one said to the second one there, I hope you're having fun. Man on the run, man
And the 60s, they began in a very promising way for the Soviet Union. In the early 60s, we've had Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. We've had the funky guy, Mr. Nikita Khrushchev, who promised to bury capitalism. So, generally speaking, communism looked and sounded really cool in the beginning of the 60s. The Russian people and Russian youth in particular, they felt quite enthusiastic about what was going on in their country. Then, by the mid-60s, things started to turn a little bit worse. The dissident movement has started, Soviet Union invaded Czechoslovakia, the Prague Spring was over. Instead of funny Mr. Khrushchev, we've got a very boring Mr. Brezhnev and his entourage. We all had to decide whether to stay loyal or to look elsewhere. Only some years later, they have suddenly become aware of the fact that the Beatles have started a whole huge movement in the Soviet Union, a movement which involved not thousands or even hundreds of thousands, which involved millions of young people who became, as communist publicists have said, inner immigrants. They still lived in the Soviet Union with their body, but mentally and spiritually they were somewhere else.
Marxism, Leninism, the very foundation for the Soviet system, said that the economic structure, the basis of a society, affected what he called the superstructure, which is everything: religion, music, the way people think. And there was something called a dialectical relationship, which meant the way people thought affected the way the economy functioned, and the way the economy functioned affected the way people thought. And therefore, you needed censorship to control the system. What you really had the Beatles doing was they were affecting the superstructure of the society, and it literally brought about that change, which was the collapse of the communist-style economy and the entire system. So in a sense, Paul McCartney and the Beatles acted out exactly what Lennon feared would happen. That scenario ultimately played out 70 years later. So in the end, Lennon was right.
Can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. I'll give you all I've got to give if you say you love me too. I may not have a lot to give, but what I got I'll give to you. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love. Everybody knows it, so can't buy me love. No, 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 no. Say you don't need no diamond ring, and I'll be satisfied. Tell me that you want the kind of thing money just can't buy. 'Cause I don't care too much for money. Money can't buy me love. Can't buy me love.
It's one of the biggest, the most important moments in my life. I still can't believe that he's coming. I knew that it was impossible. Even the Beatles films, we didn't see any. We've seen just photos. And for us, photo and the record sleeve was enough information to imagine all the rest.
In '68, it was an icon for our band because it was the one and only photo of the Beatles we had. We spent a lot of time wondering who is Lennon, who is McCartney. We didn't know yet.
And thinking about Beatles or Paul personally coming to Russia, it was nonsense. It shouldn't have happened, but he's coming.
It's a dream come true on one hand. It's meeting the old friend, the old teacher. It's just so touching, it's so romantic.
This was like people, just ordinary people who'd come through this interesting transition of being suppressed, repressed in a very tight, cold regime, and now they suddenly were free. To me, it's just amazing to have been in that place in the 60s, to have been in that band, to be now here, going back to Russia. And in a way, it is true that in some strange way that I can't explain, I did feel like I was sort of going home.
Let's go! Oh, yeah, very good.
It was McCartney returning to Russia. That's how I feel. The reaction of the audience proves my point. There was no exultation. Oh, he came on. He just came back. Our good old friend, Paul, he came back. Great. Let's have fun.